post-production. If they are filming in a soundstage, a red light outside flashes, called a wigwag light. If the light's on, I get off the microphone, so my voice does not pick up on the soundtrack that's being recorded in the soundstage. We just went by stages 16 and 17, those two sound stages, along with stage 21, over here on the left-hand side, being used for NBC's Superstore with America Ferrera, Ben Feldman, and Lauren Ash.
Let's have some patience for one another.
Yeah, you know, the heat makes us all act.
If your face stays where it is, it's gonna get punched.
Superstore in its 5th season. Great show. Catch it Thursday nights, 8 p.m. NBC. So, the area on the left where you see all the vehicles, that is the base camp for Superstore. Every production has a base camp. Trucks hold lighting equipment, sound equipment, props, trailers, could be dressing rooms, wardrobe trailers, makeup trailers. If you see anybody on a golf cart or a bicycle, that's a quick way to get around this approximately 400 acres studio. And we are part of the NBC Universal family. In our family, we have some terrific TV networks, led off by the crown jewel, NBC. Look over here on the right, stages 41 and 42, where currently the second season of the limited series Homecoming, starring Janelle Monáe, has been filming. But keep looking to the right. You're going to see a couple of our friends, the Minions. They're standing by stage 43, where recently the upcoming holiday special, Holiday with the Huffs, film, Derek Huff and his sister, Julianne Huff. On the right, stages 43 and 44, where earlier this year, the 4th and final season of The Good Place with Ted Danson and Kristen Bell filmed. The Good Place is also filmed on our backlot in the Little Europe area. On the right, stage 44, one of 3 sound stages used by NBC's Good Girls with Christina Hendricks, Retta and Mae Whitman. Now you notice next to 44 a lot of vehicles. That's the base camp for Good Girls. We do have other buildings here on the front lot in addition to sound stages. Right side, Bud Westmore building, technical building, has the paint department, plastering department, electrical shop, machine shop, sign shop. Bud Westmore, a famous makeup artist who at one time worked at the studio. He, along with a lady named Millicent Patrick, created the look for the creature from the Black Lagoon, our classic 1954 film with Julie Adams. There's the creature on your screens. To your left, bungalows. Now the bungalows used to be dressing rooms to big stars, like the late great Doris Day. Now they are production offices, like for Illumination, which has brought us the wonderful Despicable Me films. Very famous bungalow on the left, Bungalow 5195. Many years ago, used by the great director Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense, who directed Psycho, among many, many other great films. Now that bungalow, home to the legendary De Laurentiis Company, headed by Martha De Laurentiis. On your left, a newer building, inside 2 sound stages. Stages 22 and 23. 22 used by Will and Grace, with Deborah Messing, Eric McCormack, Megan Mullally, and Sean Hayes. 3rd and final season, Thursday nights, 9:30 p.m. NBC. Very funny show. Earlier this year, both stages 22 and 23 on the left, used for America's Got Talent, hosted by Terry Crews, with those great judges Simon Cowell, Howie Mandel, Gabrielle Union, and Julianne Huff. It is not uncommon for a production to use the sound stages on your left, which are located on the front lot of the studio, and then if you cross over to your right, you could film on the back lot in the metropolitan set area. The buildings in the metro sets are called facades. The front and side of the building, a facade. Look to the right, steps going up to the apartment building. That's Brownstone Street. Here are some of our movies that filmed on the right on Brownstone Street. We always keep these areas on the backlot plain looking. When a production moves in, we make the area look like any city, any country, any time period. Okay folks, how about we do a little time traveling? Let's bring into Courthouse Square. Better known as Hill Valley, from the Back to the Future films, starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. Please look to the left at the top of the facade. The clock, the famous clock from the Courthouse Clock Tower facade, used in Back to the Future. Other productions wanted to film here in Courthouse Square, but they felt the Courthouse Clock Tower facade was very iconic, very specific to the Back to the Future films, but they still wanted to film here. So we placed another facade over the Courthouse Clock Tower facade, says City Hall. Now other productions can film here. On your screens, more of our past movie productions, which also did film here in Courthouse Square. Previously, this square was known as Mockingbird Square because some of our classic film, To Kill a Mockingbird, starring Gregory Peck, filmed here. If you saw Universal Pictures' Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, starring Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, and you stayed through the credits, there was a brief scene that filmed in Courthouse Square featuring Dwayne Johnson as Agent Hobbs. He was taking a phone call. So that would have been at the end of the movie. Toward the beginning of Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, there's a car chase with a motorcycle. Now some of that scene filmed on location in London, England, but some of it filmed here in the metro sets on New York Street, the street we're currently on. And then the two sections edited together, and it looks like the entire scene filmed on location in London. Popular NBC show American Ninja Warrior has also used New York Street for filming. When I think of New York, I think of our host Jimmy Fallon, who originates the Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon from New York City. Here's Jimmy, live via satellite. Tell us a little more about what it's like to work in New York.
They don't say that. Huh? I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. What's got mugged over there? An old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool, guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Now, when we were building the Metro sets, we wanted to get the most film use out of that location, and we worked with a consulting team headed by the great director, Steven Spielberg, who over the years has given us great action-adventure films. Okay, get ready, folks. We have a great adventure right around the corner. We are approaching Skull Island. Please hold on to all your personal belongings. Please remain seated at all times.
I was about to say that here comes Jaws, and I was like, no, it's Skull Island.
We are inside. Here now, the director of King Kong, Mr. Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to make the reviews. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I wanted to become a filmmaker.
Oh no!
So have your glasses ready. Hold on to your belongings. Please remain seated. Very different from each other that we use for production. Right here, great example. To your left, the metro sets, a city. Now, if you look to the right side, we have a very remote location, Skull Island, that we went through. We saw the bridge. All the foliage around the bridge helps give it a very remote look. That bridge used for classic TV shows, like The $6 Million Man, starring Lee Majors and The Bionic Woman, with Lindsay Wagner. Look at that tram car, foot of the bridge. Obviously, King Kong stepped on it. And our tram doing a great job getting us front lot to back lot. We have our terrific driver Dave taking our vehicle up hills and down hills. Now, whenever we use a vehicle on
Johnny,
screen,
you know you can take the
vehicle,
3D glasses
it's
off,
called
right?
a picture car.
No, because I couldn't tell. Oh my god, Fast and Furious.
Folks, get your cameras out. We're going to show you some of our famous picture cars.
Where are these cars at?
Welcome to Universal's Picture Cars Row. You're going to recognize Kit from Knight Rider. Magna PI's red Ferrari is on display. Several vehicles will take you back to the future. And we are going to take you all the way back to the Stone Age. We have vehicles on display from our movie The Flintstones, starring John Goodman and the late great Elizabeth Taylor. Be sure to get a photograph of the
look at that one.
gyrosphere from a couple of our worldwide blockbuster hit films, Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, both starring Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. Say, I'm very excited to tell you that Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum, the stars of the original Jurassic Park, are returning for the third movie in the Jurassic World trilogy,
Yes, sir.
along with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. We are thrilled to have them back. And the movie
Oh god,
will
that just
hit
looks
theaters
terrifying.
on June 11th,
Just having that big cage just staring you right in the face.
2021.
But here's the thing.
But we're not going
They
to
have
have to
the
wait
oldest
that
Back
long
to
to
the
get
Future cars. Where's the
back to the
DeLorean?
jungle islands of Costa Rica. This road we're on right now, taking us to that location.
To Jurassic Park.
Many of the vehicles and set pieces around us used in Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park films. Remember, dinosaurs are extinct. We don't need to worry anymore about dinosaurs. Let me check the road out up ahead. See how it's looking? Not bad. Little bit of fog. Otherwise, looking
Oh, it's
good.
right down there?
To your left, the Mobile Lab from our hit movie, The Lost World
Jaws.
Jurassic Park, starring Academy Award winner Julianne Moore. It is just a nice, quiet morning here in the jungle islands of Costa Rica. Yes, it is. Surprise. Notice how dense it is with all the trees and bushes. Look to the left. You never know what might pop out of a bush or fall out of a tree. But don't worry, because on the background, a couple things.
I didn't get hit. Let's go.
Great distances
I got
in a
lucky.
short amount of time. We're now headed
I didn't
toward
get hit.
Mexico.
I'm
Please
lucky.
stay seated as we make our turn. Thank you for doing that.
Oh my god, look at
Old
the...
Mexico, we're
What was that
seated
name?
for the movie Three Amigos film, starring Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, Martin Short. Notice on the left how the terrain has become a desert region with the cacti. On the Today Show this morning, the weather forecast for Old Mexico, partly cloudy, mild, that's correct. But the other thing about the backlot, the weather changes very rapidly. Oh yes, our weather back here changes just like that. Be prepared for anything, like a little bit of thunder. You hear that? On the left, I see lightning flashing also. Okay, we have a big storm rolling in. We know we have thunder. We know we have lightning. Now we know we even have...
Oh
heavy
no.
rain. Look at that rain coming down. Lightning just knocked out all the screens. Well, let's watch the rain come down then. It is coming down. Pretty heavy, pretty steady, but I think the rain is manageable. We are going to be... I thought we were going to be fine. I just heard a low rumbling sound. That would indicate a flash flood. Headed straight for the tram.
Oh god,
Well,
no.
take cover, folks. Here it comes. Look out.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, that sucks for you,
For a flood, it's a special effect. The recycled water makes its way down the hill and then makes its way up again. The rain created by sprinklers. You might recognize the flood from our hit movie Big Fat Liar, starring Paul Giamatti and Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We're going to be swept out of Old Mexico, and we are now at the halfway mark of the studio tour. Just want to remind everyone, please remain seated during the entire tour. Studio is private property. If at any time during the tour you drop your phone or you just cannot wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention, I will be back to assist you. But do remain seated on the tram. Hey, look at this. We got swept into the Wild West. Welcome to 6 Points, Texas. This is where Quentin Tarantino filmed scenes for his hit movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, from Columbia Sony Pictures, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. You see a lot of 6 Points in the film. This area doubles as the actual set for the TV Western Lancer, which did air on television in the late 1960s. Earlier this year, we had an upcoming Fox feature film use 6 Points, Texas for filming, Call of the Wild, which will star Harrison Ford. Just put dirt over the cement, get the horses out, put the wagon wheels and barrels on the street. There you are, back in the days of the Wild Wild West.
This is over.
We are going to leave 6 Points. Straight ahead, a lake, which could easily be used for production. Why don't we sail over the lake, swing by Little Europe, famous for where we filmed the monster movies, like Dracula with Bela Lugosi and Frankenstein, starring Boris Karloff.
Are you ready? Take your torches and go!
That's not it.
Little Europe is considered the most historic location on the backlot, as it is where we filmed the great monster movies. We're going to bring you up into Little Europe for a look. But before we make the turn into Little Europe, up ahead here on the left, you'll see a big building, Property Department Warehouse Building. You also see it on the screen. Prop anything on a set an actor would touch or hold. We have the largest collection of props in the industry, over 1 million. The top floor of the prop building is the costume shop for the studio. We named the prop building after Edith Head, a legendary costume designer in Hollywood history. Well, you know, a lot of props, a lot of costumes have been used in historic Little Europe, where great horror has filmed, but also great comedy. Little Europe used by The Good Place with Ted Danson and Kristen Bell also.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
Catch the 4th and final season of The Good Place, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. on NBC. In this final season, you see a lot of Little Europe in the episodes. We do try to use every available inch on the studio lot for projects. We've been bringing you through beautiful Little Europe. But on your left, next to Little Europe, we have the modern day house for the Hallmark Channel show, Home and Family.
Hey, Universal Studios fans, I'm Cameron Atkinson.
And I'm Debbie Matnoblis from the Emmy-nominated television show Home and Family.
Join us as we go behind the scenes with your favorite actors, musicians, and celebrity chefs.
Plus amazing DIYs, fun fashions, and so much more.
Make sure to watch Home and Family on Hallmark Channel every weekday.
Home and Family shoots here Monday through Friday, sometimes in the house, sometimes outside. The house is a practical set, built so you film indoors, outdoors. It's also a hot set.
Oh no.
Fully dressed, ready for filming.
This is another
we have
one.
A hot set built in stage 50, which we're bringing you into now.
Yes.
It's a Northern California subway station set. Please remain seated at all times while we are in stage 50, so that nothing on the hot set is disturbed. Thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, this is earthquake. This is earthquake.
Notice the attention to detail that has been put into the set. Over on the right side, you have the ticket turnstiles. And why did you feel that? Stay calm, stay seated. Slight tremor, nothing to worry about. This could be the big one. Stay calm, stay seated. It's over. I could use a drink of water. Oh no, that's too much water.
Oh my God! Oh! Oh shit! Oh!
That was a simulated 8.3 earthquake. The effect leads to movies like Beverly Hills Cop 3, starring Eddie Murphy and Keith.
Hey, remember my leg just got soaked. I can tell.
We were just in California, but we come outside, we're back in the Midwest. To the right, 6 Points, Texas. And then on the left, on the other side of the building, another gray western area, Denver Street. Denver Street is used as part of the base camp for the Hallmark Channel show, Home and Family. We certainly have enjoyed being out west and in the Midwest, but now it's time to head out east. We're going to Amity Island, small New England town.
It's happening. It's happening.
Spielberg's movie Jaws. Okay, don't panic, we caught the shark. Hanging up on the right makes a great photo. Please remain seated at all times as we make our way across the dock. We do have a diver in the water, Officer George.
All right, I need to see this.
Shark fin, we missed a shark. Did you catch that? They just told the diver to get out of the water. There he is, Officer George, get out of the water. Shark going under. Look out, look out. Too late. Poor Officer George. May not be a bad idea if we pull up against the gas tank. This will give us more protection. Okay, we're clearing to the other side of the gas tank. This is good, more protection. Why is the other dock moving? Look, the gas hose has come loose. There are sparks. There could be a fire. Oh boy. Wow.
That felt nice.
Look, the fire is spreading. And it looks like we're going to need a bigger tram.
Oh, here it comes. Oh!
As we turn on the very first day of filming of the movie Jaws, on location on the East Coast, the mechanical shark sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. So the crew members started to call the movie Flaws instead of Jaws. But we do know the movie became a worldwide blockbuster hit, nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture of the Year.
I'm going on this again.
It did not win Best Picture,
I'm going to sit on that side.
Win Academy Awards for Best Sound, Best Film Editing by Verna Fields, and Best Music Score by John Williams. As we loop around the lake, take a look at the sets.
That was awesome. I need to get on that side next time.
As Cabot
I feel like
Cove,
I
Maine,
really want to get on
from
this
Angela
side,
Lansbury's
like
hit TV
immediately
show,
after. Like, so I can get on. I'm gonna go on it again. Angela Lansbury.
Cabot Cove, Amity Island, right next to an average suburban neighborhood. On the left, down below, a neighborhood that sits on Elm Street. The house is down there, practical sets, built so you film indoors, outdoors, just like the Home and Family House. Another great example of a practical set. On the right, also a house. Here are some of the productions that filmed at the house on the right-hand side. The area on the right, very popular for filming. You film at the house, and then you go across the street to Colonial Street, which for 8 seasons, known as Wisteria Lane on ABC's Desperate Housewives. We're going to take you down Colonial Street. A lot of history on the street. The very first house on the left is a facade. The front and side of the home, nothing inside or on the back. This house facade on the left, used in the TV show Delta House. Keep looking on the left. The beige home with a porch, seen in the 1950 Jimmy Stewart film Harvey. Next to that, the Munsters home, 1313 Mockingbird Lane, popular 1960s show with Fred Gwynn and Yvonne DiCarlo. Yellow home on the left, late 1970s show, the Hardy Boys Mystery Series with Sean Cassidy and Parker Stevenson. And the green home next to that, featured in the 1963 Doris Day film, The Thrill of It All. The houses here could be either a facade or a practical set, built so you film indoors, outdoors. Please look to the right, very last home on the cul-de-sac, another great example of a practical set. There is a new Netflix show, Never Have I Ever, executive produced by Mindy Kaling. Never Have I Ever recently has used Colonial Street for filming. And on your screens, a couple more of the movie productions, which also filmed on Colonial Street. The movie The Burbs with Tom Hanks. The film Casper with Christina Ricci. You've seen Colonial Street movies, TV shows, commercials, and music videos. It is your average suburban neighborhood. Well, I think we've enjoyed being in this average suburban neighborhood, but now it is time to leave civilization behind us. From Colonial Street, we're going to bring you up onto Wilderness Road, a very remote location. The popular Fox show 911, starring Angela Bassett and Peter Krause, has filmed on Wilderness Road. Last season, an episode involved a car crash. There was a limousine flipped over here on Wilderness Road for that episode. Take a look over here on the left-hand side. Very wooded area. This is where scenes for the Netflix movie Bird Box, starring Sandra Bullock, filmed. At the end of the movie, they're in the woods. Tent set up those scenes filmed on the left for Bird Box. Many, many years ago, we did some terrific TV westerns. Wagon Train filmed here in this part of our back lot. If we were filming an episode of Wagon Train, the road would be dirt. We would be on the wagon train, headed up to a new town. Now we actually are headed up to Whoville. We want to show you some of the great Academy Award nominated outdoor sets used in Ron Howard's hit film, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey. On your screens, Christine Baranski as Martha May in the film, showing us how she decorated her home for the holidays. The houses on the right are facades. If you ever went in the house, the indoor house sets